Welcome to 49ers After Dark, where it's after dark somewhere, just not here on the
It's
West
dark here
Coast.
in Tampa, I can tell you.
Yeah, I'm Grant Cohn. That's my co-host Jessie Naylor in Tampa. How you doing, Jesse? Been a while.
I'm doing fantastic. I couldn't be happier. You've seen me going crazy on Twitter with everything good with Trey Lance. I feel like he's getting vindicated. For anybody
I
that
feel
was
like
ever a
you're getting
doubter,
vindicated. You started the Trey Lance hype train. You really did more than you and Jack did more than anyone else to educate 49er fans before they picked him. You talked to his coaches. You're like, this is what they're saying about Trey Lance. You helped me see the light. So I feel like you're vindicated. And honestly, this guy is better than I expected.
and his improvement, it's set.
Yeah,
Grant, when I listened to you early on, and I know after one OTA you weren't that impressed, and
I wasn't.
obviously things have piled on,
Yeah.
but it seems like he's acing every single test that's coming his way. And you're watching it live unfold every day. And I feel like every single day when you give your report, you're more and more enthusiastic about him. And it's crazy because I don't know if Jimmy's really even playing that bad. I just think that Lance is so dang good that there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden, like it's like you've been watching a golfer who didn't have a driver. And
Yeah.
he's been doing his best, scrapping it up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's good. But now you see this guy who can just drive it, whatever is a far drive in golf. I don't follow that sport. 350 yards. He can do that, and you're like, oh snap! Like I'm tired of the like golf. I'm tired of like golf clap Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy Shooter McGavin. Trey Lance is Happy Gilmore. That's what's happening right now. And you just don't have these shots in your bag. I'm sorry you don't. No
Yeah.
one does.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. So what Kyle Shanahan said was he never called it a quarterback competition, which was the right thing to do. You got to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. No one buys what you're saying, Kyle, but he said the right thing. He did say he can't help but say some truth along with the lies he has to say. I'm not
For
the
sure.
fibs he has to say. And the truth
Yeah.
was Lance will be ready when everyone knows it. I won't have to make a decision, essentially. It'll just be obvious to everyone, the coaches, the players, the media. Well, it's obvious to everyone right now.
Yeah.
And he still hasn't really played with the starters. But you listen to Dre Greenlaw says best arm he's ever seen, hands down. I asked DJ Jones today. I said, when you're on the sideline, are you like talking to your teammates, the D linemen, about the previous series? Or are you watching Trey Lance? He's like, I'm watching Trey Lance. Everyone's watching Trey Lance. He's special. And then you talk to D'Amico Ryans. What do you see from Trey Lance? He can make all the throws, not just the long ones, but the quick stuff too. And you talk to Mike McDaniel. He goes on and on about how prepared he is and how much he improves and how hard he works.
What does he called him a quarterback on the field today.
Right.
How long has he had the playbook? 5 months at this point. He's had the playbook roughly 5 months, 4 months actually.
4 months, yeah. 4 months.
Actually, closer to 3 months. Yeah, really, if you think about it, end of April, right?
Yeah.
So we were told that it takes 2 years to really get this offense down. We're 3 months into this thing. And it sounds to me like he knows the offense better than the incumbent starter is supposed to, right? Like they're talking about how Jimmy's making all this strides. This is the best training camp he's had and all of these other things, which can also be true. By the way, both of these things can be true.
Yeah.
But if he knows it this well and he's already putting people in the right place on the field and being that coach on the field, what can this kid not do? It's absolutely incredible.
And I think it's interesting just how freely everyone's talking about how good he is. The first couple of days, it was like, man, don't talk about it. It seemed like that was the attitude in the organization. Like, yeah, okay, but it doesn't help our cause with Jimmy, and he's still just a rookie. Let's make him earn it, which is a good approach.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't get his head too big, and the pads haven't gone on. Okay, well, I've done it for 7 days. He does it every day. And when he does what he does, it's like, oh my God, like that's all. He's my teammate. Oh my God, he's gonna make me so much money. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna make us all champions. He's gonna make us. He's gonna improve all their careers. That's what they're looking at. Like, wow. And it's a lot of fun to see. I mean, Matt Maiocco was on KMBR gushing. I mean, Stevie Wonder would be gushing if he was there. It's plain as day.
Yeah. Here's the other thing too is there's a feeling with this stuff too. It's not just watching, but there's a feeling. And let me ask you this. Do you get a feeling that when Lance is on the field that the vibe or the energy just picks up around you?
Yes. Absolutely.
That's just
and like, how many
leadership in a
quarterbacks
nutshell.
in the world have that effect?
Not many.
8, 7,
yeah, maybe
6, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe
Yep.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never expected to see this, man. Like in my life, I've just been resigned to watching Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick and Jimmy Garoppolo. And it's like, yeah, you have some good days, man. That's cool. But like, I mean, no one would pay big money to watch you practice. All of a sudden, they're charging $5 to come watch Niners practice. They could probably charge pay-per-view.
They probably could.
Yeah.
They probably could. Let me ask you this. Do you think it's more of a risk for Shanahan at this point? Because I feel like Shanahan is the only one that's downplaying this. Every time he gets on the podium, it's always, even to the point where that article came out from Peter King about how Trey Lance had logged the most time on his iPad studying the playbook. And what did he say? Well, I mean, I know how technology works. He could have just put on a movie and let it play, and maybe that's how he got the most time. It's like, so he's the only one that's downplaying him at this point.
Kittle too. Today, Kittle. I was like, really, dude? Like, really? I don't know what that was about. Maybe it's the same thing, but yeah, Kittle. Maybe he's just boys with Jimmy.
Yeah, could be.
Kittle.
But does Shanahan risk? Okay. Everybody talks about him losing the locker room. Okay. If he plays Trey too early or just hands the keys to Trey too early, but doesn't he also risk losing the locker room? And isn't this possibly worse if everybody on that roster knows that Trey's the guy and he plays Jimmy anyways? This can go both ways. At what point do you risk losing the locker room the other way? And I'm not saying he has to make a decision now, but if he goes with Garoppolo and everybody who's seen Trey, everybody, including us who are not able to be there because we live across the country, we see him during the preseason and we're like, oh my gosh, this kid is different. If everybody sees it and you still start Jimmy G, at what point do you risk losing the locker room that way? And what is the bigger risk in your opinion?
I mean, it's hard to say. They're both risks. They're equal risks. And that's why it's such a tough call for Kyle Shanahan. It's not as simple as, well, just start Jimmy. No one can fault me for that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they can.
Yeah.
If the whole team thinks Trey Lance is better and you go with Jimmy week 1 and you lose, that's unacceptable. You just gave away a game because you didn't play the person who gives you the best chance to win. So I think that there is a very real chance that Trey Lance will start week 1. He seems like he's winning over everyone. When you got Matt Maiocco going on KMBR gushing, saying this guy is clearly the best quarterback on the team. I mean, he wouldn't say that if he felt that the team didn't want him to. I don't mean to talk that way about Matt. Matt's an OG. He's the best. I'm just saying he knows he has the best feel for the pulse of the Niners organization in the world. And if he's saying he's the best quarterback on the team, that's what I'm saying. That's what I've seen. But if he's saying it, that means that's what the Niners are seeing too. Again, everyone can see it. It's not hard to see.
Yeah, of course.
You don't be an expert.
You definitely don't.
With Jimmy, you kind of have to be a football savant. Like, ooh, that was 3rd and 7. That was a nice little throw. It was a quick. With Trey Lance, it's like, damn, like a 3-year-old could watch it and be like, wow. It doesn't. Yeah. It's just one of those things.
It's like some quarterbacks win you over with nuances and just little things that put you together.
He can do that too, which is really cool. He can do that too. But that's not the reason why he's on the team. Well, it's part of it. Double B Studio says, is Trey going to make the Niners cut Jimmy instead? Nah, this doesn't mean that Jimmy sucks. Jimmy's a starting quarterback in the NFL. That usually is worth a third round pick. But he's also very expensive. The Niners probably have to pick up some of that money to get the pick that they want. I think they will. They're going to trade him. They're going to trade him. They just, it's a deadline business. I think they'll trade him. They better trade him.
I had a call-in show yesterday, and Bay brought up a really good point. Bay Area Baller 18, go check him out. But he said, would you trade Jimmy for a second if you had to eat half his salary? And I said, yes, absolutely, in a heartbeat.
I would too. Because
he says that he wouldn't because he thinks that carryover money is way more important than that second round pick.
Yeah, I think the Niners are more hard pressed for picks than money. You can always create cap space. How are you going to get that pick?
That's true.
I don't know. So, I mean, I wouldn't dismiss anything Barry Baller says.
No,
He's
me
smart,
neither. No, it was a compelling
yeah.
argument. I hadn't thought about it. For me, it was a no-brainer. You take that second round pick, but it is, it's something worth talking about.
Definitely. Jay says, Grant, great seeing you on Friday on camp. Yeah, great to see you too. If you were putting your own money on the line, when do you think Trey starts? I already did this. I bet a $50 bottle of wine with my dad that he starts week 1. And I feel pretty good about it because he's way better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. And not starting him week 1 would just be a bad decision. So I don't know what Kyle's going to do, but I'm trying my best to win that bottle of wine. Kenyon says his Trey will be taking the number 1 spot. What will be an acceptable record for him to be considered a successful acquisition at, and where and how we got him? Ooh, that's a 10-year question. He has to be, for him to justify the trade up, he'll have to get the second contract and go to Pro Bowls and go to Super Bowls. But that's a different question. That's a whole different. It's not. He can't prove that right in 1 year.
Yeah, absolutely. Go back to that. I don't think you actually read that Pluffy Phil a couple back.
Oh, good.
I think you had it up.
Remember Russell Wilson's rookie season. The Seahawks gave big money to Matt Flynn, but Wilson went in and took it. When you got it, you got it. Yeah. I've been saying it was going to go like that.
I literally had a DM today. Somebody asked me on Twitter. They said, what do you think about the situation? Is it comparable to the Kansas City Chiefs situation? I said, no, it's actually more comparable. No, he asked me about the Washington situation. I said, no, it's actually very comparable to what happened with Russell Wilson and Matt Flynn. Because if you go back, and I was reading articles from that year just the other day, everybody under the sun said it's Matt Flynn's job. There's no way Russell can win it. And then Russell won it. And the way that he played is really how I expect Trey to play his rookie year. So I think that scenario and that point is a very good one because that's the one that resembles this one most similarly, in my opinion.
Gammon Brown says, Grant, why are you always late to your own shows? Why not just set the time to 8:05 if you cannot be on time? Great show, BT Dub. Because I know when I'm late, you're going to spend $5 to ask me why I'm late. And I like people giving me money, asking me why I'm late. So I'm going to keep doing it. I appreciate the $5. Thank you.
I was the reason we were late today, just to be fair.
No, it was me. Well, get the hell out of here. Amina says, poor coach at Minnesota who told Trey he's a safety. Yeah, remember, Trey went to North Dakota State because Minnesota was like, you're not a quarterback. Good call. Him and who's the dude who said Lamar Jackson was a wide receiver?
Oh, gosh.
What was the dude's name?
I don't remember, but a lot of people he was a running back too, remember?
Yep. Yeah, poor coach at Minnesota. It's not a good day for him.
No.
Probably turning off his notifications. The Logical Truth says, don't mean to change the subject, but I'm dying to know, does D'Amico Ryans have the potential to be a better DC than Robert Saleh? I don't know. They're still installing the defense. It's a little early to say. Yeah. He's doing a good job against Jimmy G, though, getting shredded by Trey Lance, but that's second team.
I would say if you're an ex-player, he definitely has the potential to be better for sure. I mean,
and
there's
you
just
can see he's setting his sights at head coach.
Yes.
I asked him a quarterback question today. He tackled it, which means he expects to be a head coach.
Yep.
Trey says, I've seen Trey and Mahomes live in person, and I'm going out on a limb and say Trey will be better than Mahomes by next season. Hey, man, that's what's so exciting about Trey Lance is if you just kind of add up the sum of his parts, it's a very high sum. I mean, he's faster. He's a better runner than Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, for sure. That's not a question. That's not a question.
Yeah.
So he has as much, I think he has as much velocity as Holmes, but I don't think he can throw it as deep as Mahomes, but he definitely has the velocity that Mahomes does. He doesn't have the arm angles that Mahomes does.
Right.
But I think he's a little bit more conservative and is actually just slightly better mentally, especially at this part in their career. I think he's slightly ahead of the game mentally compared to where Mahomes was.
David says, I've seen many say bye week makes sense to insert Trey. What about extra week before regular season? It's all pump JG now, then it's all Trey after preseason game 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a possibility. I think that's probably the best case scenario. Even if you know you're going to start Trey, the later, the better. Because if you can keep that week 1 opponent, the Detroit Lions, on their heels, that's the best thing that you can do. So if I'm starting Trey, nobody's going to know until game day.
Keep in mind, there are 6 more training camp practices in front of the media before preseason. After that, they're going to shut it down. They'll have 2 joint practices in front of the media against the Chargers. I'm going to that. Yeah. So 8 more. And that means there's a lot more practices that the media won't be there to watch team drills where they can do whatever the hell they want. And I would expect that Trey Lance is going to get a ton of first team reps at that point. So it's not a story.
Absolutely.
But they're not dumb. They're going to get him that. Mark says, profoundly brilliant. Grant charged pay-per-view for training camp. Many fans from all teams would do it. It would change training camp forever. I don't understand why the NFL is so bad at monetizing its offseason. It's mind-boggling to me. Fans want to watch, and you won't let them. I don't get it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Gammon says, my wife went to the gynecologist and was told that wow. Okay. Thanks for $5, but I should.
It's a little
Eric
weird.
says, let's say Jimmy starts the season and the Niners are 0-3. Kyle refuses to play Lance and sticks with Jimmy. Do you think Kyle's job that's never going to happen? Kyle's not dumb.
No.
He's not.
No
dumb.
way.
He's
not that dumb.
He would look like he had some type of vendetta against black quarterbacks if he did. That's never going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's never going to happen. And
No.
He wants Trey Lance. He wants Trey Lance.
Does.
Yeah.
Of course. Trey Lance is his guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcus says, Grant, at what point do you just ask Kyle during a press conference, Kyle, does Jimmy really still give you the best chance to win? Laugh my ass off. Kyle gives you this look when you ask questions about the quarterback competition, like, what do you want me to say, man? You know I got to lie. So you want me to lie? Okay, I'll lie. And that's the kind of look he's giving you. And I totally respect it. I understand. He's doing the right things. You can't really be honest when you're trying to trade Jimmy. James says, planting my flag on Jimmy G as starter. That's all. Respect it, man. Cool. That's a $4 flag, baby. Don't gloss over your point, Grant, about charging pay-per-view for training camp. Brilliant. NFL will be all over it. You should get a commission. Yeah. Yes. I mean, really, I make a bunch of money just from describing what happened in training camp like it's 1920 and we're on the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And you don't think that me across the country doesn't want to watch every single play from training camp? I would eat that up.
The NFL
I'm paying for it.
I don't get it, man. I do not get it.
Add it into the NFL Game Pass and make me pay more for it or something. I don't know.
The backup to Trey will be Sudfeld. Rosen needs to get his shit together. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. I think this is being glossed over, but this right now, the number 3 quarterback spot, I think is just as important as this number 1. Because
Sudfeld looks decent. He looks like a good backup quarterback.
Right.
Rosen, dude, I always assumed that he was a smart guy and a good, dude. What? If he has a high football IQ, I haven't seen it.
Right.
I haven't seen it. I don't know what's going on here, man. Sudfeld does. Sudfeld does.
Of course he does. He's playing really well. But this third string quarterback technically could end up being the second string quarterback. If they move on from Jimmy for some reason, that's our backup quarterback. So this third string quarterback is very important.
Sudfeld looks like he's on top of the details, good backup. Rosen, I don't know, man. Show me something, Josh. I want to like you. I want to like you, and you go 1 for 3, and your misses are like, what? You don't look like you know the offense any better than anyone. And you've been on the team longer than Lance and Sudfeld. Dude, come on, man. It's time. Otherwise, you're this close to being out of the league for good. The backup. You did that one. Thoughts on Maiocco, Greg P interview? Didn't hear it.
I didn't either.
Didn't hear it. Trey has that it factor. He's determined. Yup, I would agree. There was one way up at the beginning. I'm not going to find it, but it was thoughts on, what was it? Thoughts on Trey Sermon? Hold on. Real quick. Yeah. Who is the best running back at camp? It's still Mostert. It's still Mostert. But Mitchell's really good. Sermon's really good. They have a nice trio, and Gallman's not bad.
Mitchell or Sermon? Who's better right now? Because I'm hearing a lot of good things about Mitchell.
I just won't judge running backs until there's tackling.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, Sermon gets reps with the starters and Mitchell doesn't. I know I don't really take that into account when I'm talking about Lance and Garoppolo, but they're not getting tackled. It's hard. Right. They both look good. We'll see in training camp. Yeah. Trent says, haven't heard much about Trent Williams. How has he been in camp? Real quick Trent Williams story, then we'll move on. Yesterday he's going one-on-one against Zettel, 67. I don't even know his name, Anthony Zettel, one-on-one.
Yeah.
67. He's kind of like Bosa's number, and Bosa hasn't been doing one-on-one, so it's like he's the stand-in. He's the understudy. He hits Trent Williams with a spin move to the inside, and Williams whiffs. And the whole D-line just erupts because, you beat Trent Williams. Trent Williams walks over, shakes his hand. I thought that was so cool. Like, hey, you got me. Congrats. Tell your grandkids. See you again in 2 minutes. I'm going to shut you down. And he did. So that was cool. Trent Williams, still good. Jimmy and Kinlaw to the Colts for Buckner. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, man.
I wish,
man. Think that's what's going to happen.
I wish. Right. Why did you spell it like Colt instead of Colt?
I think he did it on purpose, though. Okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
The most surprising thing about Lance so far, let me tell you just from my perspective, I've seen him. We talked so much about him this offseason,
Yep.
and we praised his football IQ, his decision making, his maturity, his athleticism. The one thing that I would kept coming back to is like, man, I don't know about that accuracy. You know, his throwing mechanics, he's not so natural. He's gonna have to do a lot of work there, you know. And then first time I saw him, he was missing high. I'm like, man, this guy just isn't naturally accurate. He's like, is he Blaine Gabbert? But then I've seen, like, first of all, he puts a ton of work into it. And now I have to say his throwing mechanics are really good. His arm is way better than I realized. I thought it was like, here's a guy with a strong arm, but there's a lot of bad quarterbacks with strong arms.
Of course.
You know, like,
yes, of course.
and I keep comparing him to Colin Kaepernick, who had success in the league, but had a limited ceiling because he didn't really work on throwing mechanics. He said it. He's like, I'm just not really into mechanics. Well, Trey Lance is. And Trey Lance has better throwing mechanics right now than Colin Kaepernick. And he has a more powerful arm right now than Lamar Jackson. So in terms of these quarterbacks who could give you 7, 8, 9 carries a game and average 6 yards a carry, his arm is unreal. I mean, in that context.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, not being there, I think being there makes all the difference in the world. There's just something that you're able to see that we're not or haven't been able to see yet. And it's different seeing it in person. There's a reason that McVay was drooling and salivating at the fact that he wanted to see Lance throw next to Zach Wilson and Fields and Lawrence, because he knew that everybody in person would notice the difference in his ball versus theirs. Mm-hmm. So that being said, I would say for me, it's his consistency. And not just his consistency as far as staying even keel. He's consistently getting better. Every time they say, because I feel like the bar keeps moving. For people that want Jimmy G to be the guy or think that it's too early for Trey Lance, first it was, well, he played in the FCS. Let's see how he would do if he was at a major D1 school like, I don't know, Alabama. Well, guess what? He's playing against number 2s and French player guys, which is better than any college team you could play against.
Right.
He aced that test. Then it's like, okay, well, hold on a second. Let's see him in pads. Okay, he got even better. Well, now it's like, well, let's see him against the number 2s without number 1 receivers. All right, 13 of 14. All right, well, let's see him. You know what I mean? It just keeps going.
Yeah.
But not only is he being consistent, but he's consistently getting better every day.
Let's see him in the pads.
Like. Right.
Oh, it doesn't count yet. We'll see him in the pads. He's better in the pads.
Yes.
First
team. I want to see him against first team. Now it's preseason.
Let's see him what he looks like when he's got Trent Williams blocking for him. I'd love to see that.
Right.
I definitely want to see that. Yeah.
Me too.
And he's got Mostert, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle all on the field together. I mean, yeah, he'll have times where he'll have Kittle on the field, but like it's Kittle and Trent Sherfield.
Yeah.
And Travis Benjamin. It's not like he's got the whole offense around him. He's got one guy.
Yeah,
and everyone knows who's going to that guy.
Let me ask you that, because I think there's a misconception. People are saying that every single play he's playing with all the number 1 receivers. No. It's like one at a time, right?
No, it'll be like basically one at a time.
Okay.
Basically one at a time.
Okay.
So like if Ayuk's on the field, the whole defense knows, hey, I guess it's probably going to be a pass because they're not going to waste Ayuk's legs, and it's probably going to Ayuk if he gets open. So that's what he's dealing with. It's not like, okay, you get all the starting skill position players, go get them. No, it's not like that at all.
No.
Lionel says, will the Niners make a push for Xavier Howard? Scares me to think. No, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to.
They won't, but they should, and they can.
Gabe McCall just donates so generously out of the kindness. Oh, wait, no. What's Lance got to improve on the most? Good question. He just needs reps, straight up. Like, he's never led a 2-minute drill. He's only thrown more than 23 passes in a game twice. He just needs reps, because what make, the difference between winning and losing a lot of time is situational football. What do you do with this amount of time left on the clock, down 4, up 3? Yeah. It's all those little things, and that's what makes Tom Brady so good, is he's the best at that stuff. So that stuff, I'm sure there'll be moments where he'll do something and you're like, ooh, that was kind of a JV move, but it's like, yeah, man, he's very inexperienced. All that's just all the things that come with experience. That's the answer.
You don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. You know what I mean? So that's where he's at.
21, so he'll be able to overcompensate. Damn, people are Damn. Okay. Mark says, "What's up with Kinlaw walking off the field today and just squatting and looking at the ground?" I have no idea. I will find out though. I have no idea. He's strange. I like him. He's maybe the second best interview on the team after Jimmy Ward. I would love to do an hour-long interview with Javon Kinlaw. He's great, but I don't know if he's a pro yet. Jimmy Ward's a pro. I don't know about Javon Kinlaw. We'll see. It looked like he was in a bad mood and just shut himself down today. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd like to know. We asked D'Amico Ryans, and he said he didn't know either. That's not a good sign. I don't know. Emilio says, is Trey Lance dating Colin Cowherd's daughter? Maybe.
That was the rumor. Yeah, that was the rumor. I don't know if it's
they
true
might be
or not.
Friends. I don't know.
Yeah.
They might just be homies. Mauricio says, if Lance balls out in preseason, is there any chance he doesn't start? I just can't see it. I just feel like you run the risk of pissing off your own team. And like, I think Niner fans are hesitant about it now, mostly because they don't trust me. But
yeah,
they hear it from everyone. And when they see it themselves, they'll be like, okay, I want to watch that every Sunday the rest of my life. You praised 3 DTs in your recap today. Should we be worried about the interior O-line?
Mac.
Oh no, really they don't have anything established at right guard. Nothing. Yeah. They're still searching there. So I don't know.
Mac looks really good though. Also, to be fair, right? Did he not put multiple defensive tackles on their butt yesterday?
You know, I didn't see that alleged pancake. And if Javon Kinlaw got pancaked, I'm guessing he got tripped because he's like twice the size of Alex Mack. So I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just didn't see it. We'll see. I'm not poo-pooing Mac. I'm sure that all the things he'll be able to do mentally will definitely help because that's kind of what centers aren't there to just dominate one-on-one. That's not really what they do.
No,
but if he can like help the entire unit pick up blitzes and stunts and games, that's good. That's good. Grant and Jess, you guys have put a huge smile on 49ers faces talking about Lance like this. Jesse's been consistent forever. Just want to give him credit with that. Took me a little while. I had a tweet in January where I said that Colin Kaepernick is
way to call it out now. On your own, though.
If someone saw it today, I was like, "Oh, that's going to get passed around." So it said Colin Kaepernick is better right now than Trey Lance will ever will be. So I just wrote psych. Psych, that counts. if you get within like maybe a year, it still counts for psych. That's how I grew up.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think Lance will have a better rookie season than RG3? That's a good question. I do.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
He's just more dynamic better runner than RG3. More dynamic thrower.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of all the rookie DBs, who has been showing out, positive or negative? Man, they both been playing with backups, so neither
have been looking good. Ambry Thomas has given up play after play, it sounds like.
He hasn't been giving up too many plays the last couple of days, but neither one's been getting reps with the starters. There's still Ken Webster over there, and I don't know if he's going to make the team, so we'll see. James Foster says, how many throws has Lance made with Warner, Ward, and Verrett on the field? See, here's a Jimmy Garoppolo fan. Mm-hmm. None.
I love this.
None.
I love this.
None. He hasn't. So I guess he's a bum. I guess it's too soon. I'm sorry.
Here's what people need to understand. So people think that these guys that are fringe players to make a team are scrubs. And I know that I said it earlier, but you have to realize, let's say you take Alabama, the best team in the country. They have maybe 10 guys that make an NFL roster, 12, something like that. Outside of that, those guys don't make an NFL roster, and a lot of them don't even fight for an NFL roster. Every single one of these guys are the top 1% of the 1%. They're that good. They're playing against an all-star college team. So even if it's guys that don't make the team or guys that are second teamers, he's playing against an all-star college team. You're the same guy most likely that said, well, he was in the FCS. We'll see. It'll take a year. Well, now he's playing against an all-star college team. So just like Alabama and just like Mac Jones had the jump by having way more talent, just like Fields had way more talent on his side most times. Yeah, he's got more talent on his side, and he's doing exactly what he should be doing. He's playing nearly perfect yet again, just like he did in college.
Yeah. How long before the locker room turns on Jimmy? I mean, if he starts over Trey Lance and loses week 1, I don't know if they'll be mad at Jimmy. They like Jimmy. It's not Jimmy. It's nothing about Jimmy. It's not like Jimmy has prevented the 49ers from starting Trey Lance or whatever. Jimmy's kind of like, what do you call it? He's an
innocent
casualty. He's an innocent bystander. Thank you. He's an innocent bystander. He needs out. He needs a get out of jail free card. Let him go. Yeah. Let my Jimmy go.
Yeah.
Let my Jimmy go. He's done enough. Jimmy, you've done your service. Thank you for everything. Go get him.
And if the last guy that paid you for that comment was just simply throwing out a question, sorry if you were caught in the crosshairs, but I feel like I'm answering to every naysayer about Trey Lance right now. So that's what that was about.
EJ Reed says Andrew Luck out of retirement. Does that mean no trade? You fell for a Barry McCockiner fake report, or maybe you're trying to get me to fall for it. But I follow Barry McCockiner on Twitter just so I don't get.
No, but Phillip Rivers is talking about how he's
There you
open to
go.
playing.
That's what's up. I trust you, Grant. Thanks, Chris. I trust you too. I don't even know
trust
you.
you, Grant.
The logical truth says I believe the preseason will be the deciding factor on who wins the quarterback position. Yeah, I think let's be clear. Sure. Well, we're all blown away by his talent, but they're making him earn this job. And if he were to have a bad week because he's a 21-year-old and just decided to stop working, he won't get it. It seems to me like he's not going to do that. But let's make him earn it first. I like what the Niners are doing. And he's going to have to earn it in the preseason. And based on what I've seen, he's going to knock it out of the park. That's all I'm saying. Jordan says, attending Raiders versus Niners preseason, can't wait to see Trey light up Trey area. I'm telling you, man, pay-per-view, Niners, you're missing out. I'm not, though. All I have to do is describe. Scott says, who's winning the battle for that third wide receiver spot? A lot of positive vibes on the shirt field last few days, but snooze to lose. Okay, I'm going to take this to another topic. Who's winning the number 3 receiver? Yeah, technically it's Mohamed Sanu, but actually it's Ross Dwelley. I know it's Ross Dwelley. Here, there are 3 top receivers on this team, all right? Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, those are the guys.
Yes.
Who's going to be the guy who is the 4th guy? So far, it is clearly Ross Dwelley. This guy is getting 2-3 catches a day. Sanu wasn't getting it with the starters. And he's catching deep passes. He's catching difficult throws over the middle. I've never seen this from Dwelley. I always liked Dwelley from what I saw in one-on-ones because he really is good. But when it was like time for team drills, they didn't call plays for him. He'd get like 3 catches a camp, and people would be like, Grant, why do you like him? Well, I watched him closely one-on-ones. Now everyone's like, oh, yeah, dude's a baller. Dude's a baller. And he always looked skinny to me in the past. Not anymore. No. He is a filled-out athlete in his prime. He's going to have a much bigger impact on this offense than Mohamed Sanu.
Didn't Shanahan say he has the best hands on the team?
He does have the best hands on the team. And he's 6'5".
Yeah.
And he got really long arms. Like, you just have to throw it up. He doesn't have to be super open, but he gets himself enough space to catch the ball. He's really good at what he does. I
think that, and after that, by the way, so if that's number 4, number 5's Juszczyk. So really that third receiver spot is less and less important almost every passing day. Now, it is important from a standpoint that if Debo goes out or Ayuk goes out or whatever, but as far as actually running 3 wide receivers, I think that's less important by the second.
Yeah, I mean, they'll find ways to use Mohamed Sanu, but I don't think he's going to get – I mean, only way he gets as many targets as Dwelley is if Ayuk or Samuel goes down. Yep. Really, the big surprise at training camp this year is Dwelley. This is the big ascension for him. Someone had to step up, so it's him.
Yeah.
Good question. Will Bosa come back to his rookie level? Yeah, I would expect he would. Let's talk about Bosa real quick. Bosa hasn't practiced yet. He's warmed up and stuff. He's out in the field. He wasn't out there at all today. Basically, they'll give him like a couple of days where he's warming up and then a day where he's not even there. And no one-on-ones, no 11-on-11s, no physical contact. D Ford, go get him, baby. Nick Bosa, no. And I think it's the right call. I make fun of him every day because it's Nick Bosa. But the Niners need to be like easy on their players. They get guys hurt in practice. And Bosa doesn't have to improve. He's good. He's polished. He just has to be healthy. He's less than a year removed from his ACL surgery. They're handling Bosa the right way. I want to commend the 49ers for that because I think Niners fans think that I'm just negative and taking shots. No, I just like to do that on Twitter, and I like making fun of Nick Bosa because he's an easy target. I mean, come on. But, the Niners are handling him properly.
For sure. I haven't heard this brought up, but again, it may be nothing, but I do find the timing very interesting. So all that stuff came out, was all over social media about his girlfriend and all the racist stuff she was saying 5 years ago or whatever. Ever since that day when it exploded, I haven't seen or heard from Bosa. So is it them hoping that this blows over and they're trying to get it figured out so that they can just skirt it under the rug. I don't know, but it's something to consider because I would do that if I'm in the PR department personally.
Oh, they're definitely
I'm
not going to
certainly
put
not
those
putting
out
them in
there
front of the
anytime
media.
soon. Not anytime soon, because he's
No.
going to have to answer that question. Yeah, I can't imagine him staying with that lady and teammates being cool with that. I just can't imagine. Stop interviewing McDaniel 2021. No, I'm off that. I like McDaniel. His answers are great, and he likes my questions. So he's got like a cool self-deprecating humor, which I dig, and he's hella smart. To me, I like to think of him as like he's like the less corporate, the real version of Kyle Shanahan. You know, the less presentable, the less polished, but
Are you calling him Wish Kyle Shanahan?
No, Kyle's so presentable and polished, and he's really smart too. This guy can never really be Kyle. He can't give the same presentation as Kyle, but the substance behind what he says is just as good or better. I mean, he's so smart, and I love listening. I really appreciate his answers. He takes time. He tries hard. He doesn't get defensive. I appreciate Mike McDaniel. I just want to say that.
I feel like his first interview, it was almost as if he's a stand-up comedian, and he got up there for the first time and bombed. Right?
Yeah, and that's fine.
Now he's comfortable. He's good. He's like, it can't get any worse than that, so I'm good.
Yeah. No, I like Mike McDaniel. He's good. He gives great answers. I think he's going to be. I think he is a really good coach. Yeah, and I think he's Kyle's right-hand man.
He does a lot more, by the way, for this offense than I think what people realize. And you're hearing it in little spurts throughout interviews with the players because they'll talk about it. Well, how do you think this offense changes? Well, it just depends on what McDaniel wants to throw in from week to week. It's like, okay, well, maybe he does have a hand in this thing a lot more than we give him credit for.
Yeah, and if Trey Lance, goes on to be an all-pro quarterback, Mike McDaniel's going to become a head coach.
He's going to get a job easy.
So, I mean, again, I think some people think that like, oh, this is kind of awkward down in Santa Clara or Trey Lance is going to make these guys save and make these guys careers.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think I would probably Kyle Shanahan was graying because of Jimmy Garoppolo. Yep. And I know Jimmy Garoppolo, he has his virtues, but
Jimmy Garoppolo's graying because of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. He is just so limited. And Kyle has done every freaking thing he can think of to get the most out of his limitations. And he doesn't have that problem anymore.
No.
Now he's like Andy Reid, like, oh, I got an unlimited talent. Okay, well, let's see what I can think of. Garoppolo jerseys are on clearance now. Yeah. They have his picture all over the Levi's. Him wearing the 94 jersey. It's like, guys, who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? Brett Lackey says, I keep seeing Sherfield make plays. What is his skill set? Potential slot. Okay. No, he's not a slot guy. He's more of an outside guy who's fast. He's a special teams guy who's a gunner. So he's the guy who runs down on punt coverage and tackles the guy. You're very fast in a straight line. And what he does is he runs, deep crossing routes, fade routes, curl routes. He's not a super sophisticated route runner, but he's fast. And he's in great shape, and he can run a good curl route. And Trey Lance has the arm to get it to him. If you've ever seen Trent Sherfield with the Cardinals, he ran curl routes on the outside, and Kyler Murray gunned it to him. And I would think the Niners don't have a quarterback who can do that. So I mean, he's not a great wide receiver, but he'll be probably the fifth wide receiver on the team and a special teams player.
Is it fair to say that he's everything that we had hoped Richie James would be?
No, Richie James is a hell of a route runner. Richie James has potential as a receiver. He's not a gunner. He's not like Trent Sherfield is muscled up. Trent Sherfield will tackle you. He's a special teams player, and he's not going to be like, he's not super fluid. He's not going to kind of shake you.
I'm just saying more from a production standpoint because I think there's an off chance that, not an off chance. There's a chance
he could slide in and he could take
roster.
Richie James targets for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. They just play the position a little bit differently.
What's up, by the way, Brett?
What's up, Brett? Thank you, Brett. RJ says, here's $4.99. Thank you very much. Pornstar Jimmy says, Ross Dwelley equals Cameron Brate with better hands. Cameron Brate's a hell of a player. They have a lot in common. Cameron Brate is a hell of a player and a Super Bowl champion. So I think I know that Cameron Brate's actually called Ross Dwelley before. They've talked. So maybe Cameron Brate would agree. I'm friends with the Dwelleys. We go.
Like
Chase says, here's $5. Chase, you guys are hell of generous. Hecka, as we used to have to say in elementary school. You get in trouble if you said hella in 3rd grade.
Really?
Niner by nature. Yeah, it's a hecka. Niner by nature says 88. 88 says if Trey Lance wins Rookie of the Year, MVP, and Super Bowl MVP, where would he be ranked as the best quarterback?
This is so early.
Let's let him earn it, man. Let's let him earn it first. But since you gave me $5, he'll be number 1. Number 2, maybe number 3.
Okay, well, let's be fair. If last year the why am I drawing a blank on his name? I love this kid. Chargers quarterback.
Herbert.
If Herbert did what he did, setting those records as a rookie and as a consensus top 10 quarterback, if all of those things happen for Trey Lance this year, he's a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah. And again, I keep like, how many quarterbacks, we talked about earlier, how many quarterbacks have the ability to like really put on a show in a game, in a practice? Maybe 7, maybe 8.
Herbert, Stafford, Mahomes,
forget
Rodgers,
Stafford.
Wilson.
Forget Stafford. We don't have to be that nice to Vish. I love Vish. I wouldn't.
Yeah, but he's got crazy arm talent. That's what I'm saying.
He does.
Obviously, Zach Wilson's another one. We've seen it.
I love you, Vish. I didn't mean to take a shot at you
in training, and Trey Lance probably.
I just feel like I've seen Stafford a lot of times, and every
Allen.
time I watch him, I'm like, I wanted more. I know he's got I've seen. It's a great arm.
I don't think Stafford. I personally don't have Stafford as a top 10 quarterback, but you can still put on a show because you have crazy arm talent and arm angles and whatever else.
Tyler can put on a show. Ryan Tannehill can't.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. No, Kirk Cousins can't.
Jimmy can't. Kirk Cousins can't. That's the thing. It's not Jimmy's fault. It's just not built like that. It's not that many people can. That's why they're special.
Yep.
Dude said get on the Haberman and Middlecoff show. I love them. They're the best. I would love to.
We did a show with Guy.
Yeah, we did, Guy. I love Guy. McDaniel says McDaniels is a Musk equal. I can't read. I'm tired. McDaniels equals Musk. I don't know what that means, but I like McDaniels. His name is McDaniel, not McDaniels. That's Josh McDaniels. Grant, would you trade Trey for Trevor Lawrence right now? Nah. I like Trey. No. This guy, the thing about it is he went 3rd for a lot of reasons. But everyone kind of agreed, like, he does have the highest upside in the draft. He just does. And what he's showing right now is he might just hit his upside. He just might.
Yeah.
Chase says Grant would. Oh, sorry. Got that already. Fernando says, how is Mac playing? Is he the upgrade the Niners needed? Some people are very impressed. I know Splash Cousin Jordan. I know that they've been watching him closer than me. Some people really are encouraged with him. I'm going to wait until preseason. It's too bad they're not letting us watch all 22 this year. That sucks. But
I think, to be fair, as a media guy, you're probably really focused on Trey Lance. I mean, everybody is, right?
Year. Yeah.
So everybody's watching that, but there are people that have been watching the trenches and some of those other things. They geek out on it. Splash Cousins is definitely one of them. I really trust what he has to say. And I appreciate
that he is, because I just can't.
And he's all over Mac. He said yesterday that Mac, even though Trey was 13 of 14 passing, that Mac was actually the best player at practice that day.
No, it was Trey. I'm sorry. It was Trey. But I'm sure Alex Mack was good too. But no. I mean, ask DJ Jones if it was Alex Mack. Ask Dre Greenlaw if it was Alex. No. But I respect the observation. It was good. Patrick says Kyle Shanahan odds for Coach of the Year plus 1,500. Do I buy in? Maybe. Yeah, because he's going to overhaul his offense. He's going to get credit for that. He's going to get credit for working with the. Yeah, that's good odds. I like that. Also, Trey Lance, a Rookie of the Year. You might want those too. Yeah. Given Bosa's own Twitter posts erased, when does he become a liability? When he stops getting you 10 sacks a year. If he all of a sudden becomes like a normal player, then I don't know if fans would turn a blind eye to the problematic nature of him.
Yeah.
Ominous 24 says Vish and Stafford have the same number of NFL playoffs. I didn't see that coming, but I liked it. Thank you. All right, we need to move on because I only have 10 minutes left. Then I got to go meet up with Splash Cousin and Jason for dinner. They're out here in the Bay.
You go.
Okay, 2 more. The cornerback situation. What you need to know about it is Jason Verrett is a hell of a player. He's the best cornerback I've seen on the Niners since I started covering the team. Better than Sherman, better than Carlos Rogers. It's not even close. He just needs to stay healthy. Dude is hella good. Super good. No one else on the team is any good. Like Emmanuel Mosley's, I got COVID. I like him. He's solid. Ken Webster is starting. Last week it was Tim Harris Jr. They cut him today.
Yeah.
So they have a major problem. I mean, maybe the two rookies will show something next week, but so far they're like on the second and third team getting developed slowly while they just rotate in like guys off the street, vets off the street. They brought in BW Webb. God help him if he has to play.
I guess the question that I have is why did it take so long to address this? They had to know that this was a situation. Nelson could have been signed a week ago.
I mean, they thought they addressed it. They're like, well, we have Mosley, and we drafted two corners. So, boom. Well, Mosley isn't even there for camp, and the corners aren't ready. So what you got is no corners. Okay. You got Tim Harris Jr., who's gone, Ken Webster, BW Webb. I mean, they should just call RW McQuarters out of retirement.
BW Webb, RW McQuarters.
Any quarterback with, initials and a W in there can play for the Niners. Scott Fitzgerald.
Not looking good.
Next.
It's not looking good at all. And if Verrett goes down for any reason, again, he's a player that's not vaccinated. Regardless of where you stand politically, it has nothing to do with that. The NFL is holding players back if they are not vaccinated. He's not vaccinated. So there's a good chance he's going to miss a game minimum just for COVID reasons, let alone injury. That is the worst possible scenario for this team. That's a scenario that could derail maybe getting the first seed and ultimately winning a Super Bowl. It doesn't look good at that number 2 cornerback spot, and it certainly doesn't look good at 3 and 4.
Trey Niner says our CB situation is in danger. Why not bring back Sherman? These off the street are bums. I think Sherman needs to focus on himself right now.
I agree.
I mean, he almost like a near-death experience where he almost killed other people too. And he's not. I mean, he's been on a protective order for a long time. Not to rehash stuff that we already know, but I think he probably, should be doing.
Life is more important than football.
Yeah, get that in order.
Situations.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't think so. Plus, the way that their defense has changed, I don't think he really fits it anymore.
No.
But that's lower down the list of
no, but it may prove to be a very bad decision to get rid of Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Because he's looking good in Seattle. And I told you he was going to look good in Seattle. Seattle gets the best out of their corners. He's going to look better in Seattle than he did here.
In the league, perhaps. Yep. I mean, him or Belichick, I guess.
Yep.
Those guys are so good. And if Pete Carroll, I mean, he did it with DJ Reed. Like the Niners didn't know what to do with DJ Reed. Right. He was their backup nickel. They didn't see any use for him. They waived him. Right. When he got hurt, thinking, he'll clear waivers because he's no good. Seattle's like, that's our starting cornerback. Thank you.
Yeah.
Playing him outside. And he's better than Emmanuel Mosley. No disrespect to Emmanuel Mosley. It's like, yeah, Pete Carroll knows what he's doing. And he's doing this without much of a pass rush, too. So that's a good point.
Yep.
It's a really good point. The difference between Vish and Stafford is Vish is a future Hall of Famer. Just say, now that is true. That is true. Did we get them all? Okay, last one. Wait. Hold on. I really appreciate all the donations. You guys are super generous. Javon Kinlaw. Now, he's sort of in the same boat as Nick Bosa.
Right.
They show up to practice, but then they don't do one-on-ones. Like Kinlaw hasn't done one-on-ones at all in training camp, and that's a very physical. It's like sumo wrestling. It's very violent.
Yeah.
He has done a little 11-on-11s. I would say 20 reps in 7 days, but he's been out there more than Bosa. The difference is Bosa's coming back from a torn ACL. He's not even a year removed from that. Kinlaw says he's not injured. Kinlaw had a knee scope to like clear out some stuff and an arthritic knee. He should be all right. He's like 23. He re-injured it traveling in the offseason. He still says he's not injured. He should be there, and he needs the work. He's not Bosa. He's not polished. He's not a pass rusher. He's supposed to take the leap this year. He's not giving himself the opportunity. And then let me just tell you what I saw today. I don't know what to make of it. He's out there like he normally is. And it's time for them to just practice pass rush technique. It's not one-on-ones. It's not 11-on-11. It's stuff he's supposed to do.
Yep.
Everyone is working on this move where you like this rip move, and he just walks away and takes a knee. He squats down for 10 minutes and just looks at the ground. And I'm filming the pass rush thing, and I keep panning over to Kinlaw. If you've seen the video, it's 9 minutes. It's on my thing.
Whoa.
Sorry about that.
All that panning.
Yeah. So it's like, dude, like, are you pouting? Are you hurt? What's up? And a trainer goes over and talks to him. Nothing happens. Stands there the rest of the practice and watches. I just don't get it, man. I gotta question either his health or his professionalism. You're either not healthy and we don't know it, or you pulled yourself out of practice. Kentavious Street didn't do that. Eric Armstead didn't do that. You can't do that. I need to know what's going on with Javon Kinlaw because I'm not seeing this second-year leap that he needs to take.
Okay. It wasn't just Kinlaw. It was every single rookie last year. Everybody had a built-in excuse because they didn't have training camp. They didn't have proper mini camps. They didn't have the opportunity to come in like most rookies, fight, and learn how to play at a professional level. Okay. Mm-hmm. This year too is basically like his rookie year. So imagine his rookie year, there's no COVID and all of these things are happening. We would be very concerned. But I think a lot of people are trying to brush it off because, well, he's a second-year player. He's a vet. No, you're right. He needs these reps. These are like his rookie reps. He cannot miss out on these. What's going on? I don't know. I know that I got a lot of people up in arms with the arthritis and the knee thing. And I'm not saying he has arthritis. I'm saying, to me, it feels like early onset arthritis based off of what I've gone through and I've seen a lot of athletes go through. And for him to come out a day or two later and say, I'm not injured, and leave it at that, and everybody believes it, well, show me. You can say what you want, but what you're showing me is something completely different. There's something going on there. I don't know if it's mentally. I don't know if it's physically. I've got to assume it's physically. Something's up, and it doesn't look good.
No, and here's what's even worse for him. They don't need him. Yeah, you think, hey, he's a first-round pick. Nah, Kentavious Street, hell of a player.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy who's taking advantage of training camp. He's playing great every day. DJ Jones, hell of a player. Kevin Givens, hell of a player. Oh, and there's still Eric Armstead, who's going to be one of the D tackles on pass rushing situations. So where do you figure in, Javon? You got to earn it too, and you're not. Kentavious Street is. So you still got time, dude. It's August 4th. You don't play a game for 5-6 weeks. You got plenty of time. But, dude, you can't pull yourself out of a drill.
I have to say that he had to have tweaked something because
had to. I'm going to give you the benefit of the draft, the doubt that you were hurt.
Yeah, you're talking about a kid that was homeless, okay?
Yes.
And living in a car. I cannot fathom somebody that fought through that in a personal level, giving up because they're frustrated in a drill. I don't see that as being a possibility. I really don't. Mentally, it does not make sense from a guy who's battled back from the life situations he's been put in. So I've got to believe he tweaked something.
Okay. Either way, not good. No. Something to monitor. I keep showing up to practice being like, all right, this is the day where Kinlaw is going to be full go and we'll see something. Nope. And it's been 7 days and he says he's not hurt and he needs the work. So clearly you're hurt. Yeah. And this is a problem. So, I mean, it's not his fault. They knew that he had this knee when they drafted him. Like, ultimately, it's their fault. I'm not. Yep. I guess I came down a little too hard on Javon Kinlaw. Sorry, Javon. I'm going to say that you're hurt and that, it's probably very frustrating. I get it, man. I'm sorry. I take it back. I came on.
And come on Grant's show because he wants to interview you.
Yeah, I really do like you. And I feel like we got a little bit of a rapport going on. I came on too strong. My bad. But I do want I want to see you do something. I'm sure you do too. If your knee hurts, I'm sorry. I take it back. Glad we didn't draft Mac and Cheese.
Yeah, one of 11 in his first padded practice with an interception.
Is that true? So that's today?
Yeah. It actually might have been last week. I don't remember if it was Saturday, but one of the practices recently, I thought it was the first padded one of 11 with an interception. Yeah,
did it have something to do with the Mac fight, Javon Kinlaw? I missed the whole thing. I just didn't see it. Maybe, potentially, perhaps, peut-être, as they would say in France. That's our show. 1,700 people watching. Man, that's a record for at least for this week. Jesse, thank you so much. I always love doing a show with you. It doesn't matter if you're there or not. You're best. Oh my God. One more. Yakov. Christian. Wow, I wasn't expecting. Anyway, we all know that Trey is starting. Jimmy will be traded. I think the Niners need to look for a more suitable second backup. Rosen is not it, and Sutton is nothing more than a third.
I think
Yeah.
49er fans should stop worrying about the second quarterback position. I get,
Fair.
been very jaded, been very unlucky with Jimmy. I know that it's a worry of 49er fans. No team in the NFL, I promise you, puts as much stress and as much worry into quarterback number 2 as 49er fans do. And I get it. I understand it, but it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't.
It's
Just
true.
start
What I
training.
will say though is I do think that both Rosen and Sudfeld are kind of ill-suited to back up Lance in the sense that they have nothing in common with Lance. Like
No.
they have more in common with Jimmy or Mac Jones.
Yeah.
And all the stuff they're going to be doing with Trey
RG3.
Lance. Yeah, you'd be
RG3's out
better
there.
off with someone like Josh Johnson so I wouldn't be surprised if next year that they actually keep churning this quarterback room and bring in another mobile quarterback who can do some of the stuff that.
If Jimmy goes, I'm bringing in RG3. I am. I don't care. There's rapport there. He's athletic. I think that's a good backup.
Might be something to think about. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Cove. Thank you, everyone, for watching. The show is over. Tomorrow's an off day. I'm going to go on like a streaming marathon. There'll be roundtables. My dad will make an appearance. You just don't know who will be there, but I'll be here talking to you most of the day. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.